Everybody, it's Mike Jeffers, ChicagoJazz.com. We are here at the Jazz Institute's offices on Michigan Avenue. We're going to talk to Lauren Deutsch, the Executive Director of the Jazz Institute, and Adriana Prieto from the Jazz Institute. And we're going to talk all about the Jazz City series that's coming up, kicks off February 9th, but you're going to be seeing this ahead of the March performance, and there's a lot of other performances coming up throughout the entire summer. So why don't we just kick it off right now. Lauren, if you can give us a little background on Jazz City and all of the different locations and background and all that information that we need to know about Jazz City.
Sure. Well, we started this program 21 years ago, and originally the concept was to take 4 different styles of jazz music, big band, bebop, free jazz, and Latin jazz, and sort of marry those or present those in the neighborhoods where that music came up. So we went to Austin to do the big band related to the Austin High Gang, and in various other neighborhoods that historically resonated with that music style, only to find out, of course, I realized that those neighborhoods were completely different now. But it doesn't matter. Everybody loves big band music. Everybody loves to dance. But so that was sort of the original premise, and we did 4 concerts for the first couple of years, and then it gradually expanded to 9, which is where we're at now. And we've been doing 9 concerts annually for probably the last 10 or 15 years.
That's incredible. And you're teamed up with the Park District. Did they kick it off with you? Did they start right off the bat, or was it just the Jazz Institute?
Well, we went to them and knocked on the door because we thought this would be a really cool thing to do in different neighborhoods. And what better partner could you have than the Chicago Park District in terms of really having that whole world opened up to you, because really those parks are like neighborhood cultural centers. They are neighborhood community centers. They are places where people come to congregate, to play, to talk, to have meetings. And so it turned out to be a really great way to sort of brand the Jazz Institute as a place that serves the entire city. So we do have our headquarters, as you say, here, but we don't produce anything in this building. And I think it's been very advantageous to us. We've been really able to cultivate a truly citywide audience. And the other really cool thing about Jazz City is we have also brought people from neighborhoods far away to neighborhoods that they probably would never have stepped foot in before. And so it's also been a great way to sort of bring people together, really using the vehicle of this music that I think really unites people. It helps us sort of realize that we have this common ground no matter what part of the city we come from.
I was going to say, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. When you're going into these different areas, you're drawing people that would probably never go to Bronzeville or never go to Portage Park or Englewood or any of these places. It's fascinating. The fact that this has grown, it's obviously very popular. Are you finding your attendance is growing each year and it's becoming more and more popular?
Yes, to a great extent. It's kind of interesting we've been looking at what percentage of people come actually from the neighborhood that we're presenting in, and what percentage come from outside of those neighborhoods. It varies from place to place, indeed, but it's I think really has been successful in cultivating its own community. There are people who have been following this program from one end of the city to the other for 15 or even all 20 years of it. I think I did ask for a show of hands at the last one, like, who's been coming all 20 years? And there were a few people.
Yeah.
So this year we have departed from that sort of stylistic focus. And as we developed the program over the years, the Latin Jazz slot turned into the Latin Jazz Festival, which is now 3 days. That's in July. And has found its home at Humboldt Park up until last year, where it found another additional home at Navy Pier. So now the Latin Jazz Festival will happen at Humboldt Park and Navy Pier.
And that all grew out of this. That's amazing.
All of it grew out of that.
Yeah.
And we have done a lot of wonderful commission projects by many artists from all over the city. Too many for me to name.
Sure, yeah, right.
But in some cases, those projects started out in Jazz City, and then they went on to the Made in Chicago World Class Jazz Festival in Millennium Park. And then some of those traveled to Poland, where we were producing another Made in Chicago festival. So it's been, Jazz City is kind of like an incubator for big projects and big ideas that artists in the city have, and really proud of that. It's given lots of artists really great opportunities to create new work and present new work. And we have been doing it for so long that I can tell you that we introduced via Ken Chaney, Maurice Brown and Corey Wilkes when they were 17 years old. They had not even yet graduated from their high school. But Ken always had his ear to the ground, and he heard about these young cats in Chicago Heights or wherever it was, and invited them to be part of one of the early bebop brass concerts. And Victor Garcia, another great trumpeter, told me that when he was young, I don't remember what age, he went to a Jazz City concert. He went to a bebop brass concert and decided then and there that he wanted to learn how to play the trumpet.
Wow, really?
And he wanted to play a gig with Mr. Chaney. And he got to do that. And so when you do something over such a long period of time, it's like you never really know.
Yeah.
Or you may never find out even how that experience changed somebody's life.
It's amazing when you're bringing up all these stories, and there's probably hundreds of them, and it all kind of is based out of this Jazz City concept that just continues to grow. Now, you've got an interesting performance coming up March 9th. Why don't we talk a little bit about Adriana? Tell us a little bit about this. The Ladies, Women of Chicago Jazz. But there's something pretty special about this performance itself.
This is very special, first of all, because it's one day after International Women's Day. And also, this concert features women performers and is produced by women.
Oh, okay.
So here at the Jazz Institute, we have a group that is called the Women's Jazz Leadership Initiative, and it's conformed by students from high school and college, and they this is the second year that they are producing this concert. They're working on marketing and production, on talent buying, meaning that they have to book the opening act, which is also by a group in this program.
Sure.
And it's going to be great because also the performers, which include Caroline Davis, Joan Hickey, Marlene Rosenberg, Sylvia Cuenca, who is a drummer from New York City, Maggie Brown, and Margaret Murphy-Webb. We put them together in a group that is called the Vontet.
So we're celebrating Vaught Freeman's 95th birthday all year long, and so that was the context of why we chose women who had all been touched in some way by Vaught.
Let's talk a little bit about this, the jazz, or the women's, what's the proper name?
It's the Women's Jazz Leadership Initiative.
Okay, the Women's Jazz Leader Initiative. I probably mixed it up, but hey, you know this show, that's the way I roll.
The important word to focus on actually is leadership.
Leadership,
and what
yes.
The program is really about, and I'll let Adriana talk a little bit more, but both the concert and the Women's Jazz Leadership are about supporting, building, and showcasing and empowering women as leaders.
So you have younger students coming in, so they're actually learning from women that have already done things like that have experience in this market. Is that correct? So they're mentoring them to put this entire show together, which is incredible because I don't know of any university that actually has a program like this. So they're actually going from grounds up, the marketing, the booking, the infrastructure, everything.
Exactly.
We're just trying to give them the tools to produce an event because they are, most of them are, they're in school to be performers. But what they also need to know is how to book their own gigs, like how to deal with
how to deal with
presenters,
and how to deal with presenters who are trying to get you to do something you don't want to do.
Exactly.
Right.
But if you know what it is you're supposed to be doing, then you're empowered.
Exactly. So I think that covers the Jazz City. It's fascinating, and hopefully you can get out to one of these concerts because it's coming, as I'm looking here, to a neighborhood near you.
Yes, it is.
So March 9th is the first one, and of course get all the information online. And Lauren, Adriana, thanks for sitting down with us.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.